So I am barefaced today, which usually means that I'm going to do some kind of tutorial or get ready with me. I've recently picked up a few different new products and I thought rather than doing like a little mini haul, I could do a little get ready with me video and do a first impressions demo of the products as I go, because that would probably be more useful for you, and I need to put makeup on anyway because I need to film favorites videos and stuff like that after this one. So let's get started. Okay, so I've already applied my skincare. I applied my Embryolisse Lait-Crème Concentrè as my moisturiser, and then on top of that I apply some Sibu Beauty C Buckthorn Age Defying Eye Cream just around my eyes. And then I also applied a primer which seems to have gone walkies. Where did it go? I applied the Makeup Store Skincare System Skin Serum as my primer. This is a really nice, silky, smooth primer. So the first product that I've recently purchased is the IT Cosmetics by Redness Neutralizing Correcting Cream. Now I believe this is supposed to work a little bit like a concealer in a way. It's not supposed to be for all over your face, but it's for areas where you've got redness, whether it be under the eyes or on the face. It is quite a thick consistency. It's just one colour, skin colour, and I'm gonna see what it's like. I'm gonna use a Real Techniques domed shadow brush just to dab some on in certain areas where I've got a little bit of extra redness, which is kind of like around my nose area. I'm just going to buff that all in with my foundation brush. This is the Sigma Flat Top Kabuki F80 brush. Seems to blend quite nicely, and the colour seems to match my skin too, which is interesting given that it's one colour fits all. I mean, that's definitely given me some coverage and has not only just covered up the redness but kind of smoothed out the skin as well. If I didn't want to do a full face of makeup, I could probably just maybe put a BB cream or even maybe just put a little bit more of that on and then just go on with the rest of my face if I was just running out the door. So quite like that. It's not 100% natural, but it did definitely disappear and blend into the skin quite nicely. The next new product I have to try, I finally caved and bought my first Giorgio Armani product. This is the Lasting Silk UV Foundation. This one is particularly for oily skin, which is why I applied that sort of silky primer first. So I'm just going to apply a couple of pumps of this. It's very, very liquidy. I got the shade 5.5 for those of you who are wondering. And I'm just going to start puffing this on. The guy at the Giorgio Armani counter was so lovely. It definitely made me want to go back and buy more products. Sometimes you go to those really high-end counters and the people are horrible, and they make me feel like I shouldn't be there and I'm not worthy to buy their products. But Rick, I think his name was, he was lovely. So maybe I'll try some more Giorgio Armani products when my bank account can handle it. With a layer of the Lasting Silk Foundation and with the Bye Bye Redness, I almost feel like I don't need a lot of concealer, which is really, really good. It seemed to even have covered up a bit of my dark circles and some of my blemishes. I still have a few that I've kind of aggravated that I'm going to go in and touch up with a little bit of concealer. Or maybe I should try seeing how this layers. I might actually put just a small amount more of the Luminous Silk, Lasting Silk Foundation. I'm just going to grab that little Real Techniques Dome Shadow brush and just see how this builds. Or actually, maybe I should see how it goes with my Beauty Blender. That seems to build quite nicely. It hasn't gone really cakey or anything like that, so I think I'm just going to leave it at that. Recently I picked up a few products from the Body Shop because it's a kind of a makeup range that I've never really looked at. I think of the Body Shop as being more lotions and potions and things like that, not so much makeup. But I picked up their, what is this? The Body Shop Lightning Touch or Touch Lumiere. That's it. I'm guessing it's like a highlighting concealer-esque kind of pen for under the eyes. I got the shade 01, which seems to be quite pink. It is a little pen brush kind of wind up scenario there. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of this under my eyes. Oh, it is very, very pink. They did have other shades that were a little bit more like yellow toned or skin toned. If this doesn't work, I may give those a go. But this kind of reminded me of the MAC Prep and Prime, one of their little highlighting pens. I've seen people use them, and the Radiant Rose one, or one that's got something with rose in the name, seems quite pink, so I wanted to see what this one was like. So that did a little bit in way of brightening. It does seem to be like this would probably work better if you had a really fair skin tone. It didn't seem to show up too much on me. It may have been my colour choice. I might have to go back and see what other kind of pens that they had, but it did seem to blend in really nicely and still feels quite light on the skin. Another Body Shop purchase was the bronzing powder. This is in the shade 03 Medium Matte. I have to thank Essie Button for this purchase. She mentioned Body Shop makeup, and it's kind of what inspired me to go out and try it. And I know other people have kind of done the same. I think it was Ingrid, Miss Glamorazzi, mentioned that she'd gone out and purchased some stuff as well. So that is the beauty of YouTube. I'm just using the Real Techniques blush brush just to apply this kind of in as a bronzer more so than a contour. It's really nice to warm up the skin. I'm really enjoying it, and it's matte, so if you want to contour with it you can as well. I'm just going to contour a teeny tiny bit with my Makeup Store Micro Shadow in Masai and my NARS Aita Kabuki brush. Just really concentrating that at the very tops of my cheekbone, or the very top of the bottom of my cheekbone. Does that make sense? You guys know what I mean. You can see me do it. I'm going to take the newest highlighter that I own, not a super new product, but it's the newest one that I own. This is the Stila All Over Shimmer Duo in Kitten. This has the 2 shades. It's really pretty. And a little bit on the Cupid's bow. Okay, time for brows. I've been testing out the Benefit Brow Zings Brow Shaping Kit. This one is in the shade Medium. You get the wax and the powder right there. I'm going to start off with the wax and then go back in with the powder, because even though the powder looks lighter, it actually comes across darker when you apply it. This is definitely quite a warm shade. Maybe a tad too warm for some people, I think. But I do know that they have other shades, so there may be a more ashy shade or a lighter shade that would probably work better for some people. Okay, brows are on. I'm just going to set this with a little bit of my Benefit Gimme Brow. Does anybody else have the problem where there's too much product on the end? Just got to wipe it all off. But other than that, I really like this brush. It's so teeny tiny. Okay, I'm going to prime my eyes with a little bit of Benefit Stay Don't Stray. I picked up another new product from IT Cosmetics. This is the IT Cosmetics Naturally Pretty Volume 1 Matte Luxe Transforming Eyeshadow Palette. That is a mouthful. I picked this up from PM Studio. In Australia, that's where you can pick up IT Cosmetics products. I'll put a link to them in the description box below. They also have a standard eye mats, which is where I first kind of discovered them, and that's how I picked up my first IT Cosmetics products. And I'll also put a link just to the IT Cosmetics website for those of you in the US who can shop from there. But it has all matte shades, really pretty shades, and then it has this transforming pearl shade which is supposed to help make these other shades more shimmery. I found it didn't do a massively good job at that, but it is just a nice, if you want a little bit of like a pearl, slightly shimmery highlight, you can use that. Really gorgeous colours, very soft and buttery, and that's kind of what I've been using non-stop this last sort of week or so, a couple of weeks since I've had it. It also has like a mirror, kind of cute packaging, And that's what I'm going to use on my eyes today. So I'm going to start off with this light shade here called Sheer Joy, and I'm just going to apply this all over the lid and up to the brow bone. Can give you a spoiler alert. This has been one of my favorites recently. Once that's all done, with the same brush I'm going to take the shade Warmth and I'm going to apply this all over the lid. Using that same shade, I'm just sort of blending that into the crease also. Really, really nice and softly, just a wash of colour. Once that's done, I'm going to take Sunrise, which is a really, really pretty warm brown shade, perfect for warming up any eye looks. I'm going to take that just on the tip of the brush and just run this along the upper crease. Since I have hooded eyelids or slightly hooded eyelids, I'm kind of bringing this almost above the crease so it just sort of pops out over the top. Again, really, really softly. The beauty about these shades just seems to be that they just really blend into each other so easily. Next I'm going to take a little bit of Soulful, which is kind of like a mid-toned, slightly purpled pink shade. And I'm just going to apply this to the outer third of my lid. Taking some more of that Soulful just on the tip of my brush, I'm also going to start running this all the way along my lower lash line. Taking a smaller tapered blending brush, I'm going to take some of the shade Mocha, which is a really nice, just kind of neutral brown shade, and I'm going to start running this through the crease. Starting at the outer corner and just really concentrating it in the crease. And in that outer corner here. Drag whatever's left on your brush further in. I think what I like about these shadows is that, yes, I'm using a lot of different colours, but they all go together so nicely. And I think it's like a really great beginner's palette because you really can't stuff up. The colours just sort of blend together. With that same brush, I'm going to take the shade Java, which is a really nice, deep, dark matte brown. Got like slightly purple tones to it, which is why I think I love this palette so much, is because the shades work really, really nicely with brown eyes, but again, they work really nicely with a lot of eye shades. I just happen to have brown eyes, so I'm drawn to shades that work with my eye colour. I'm just using little circular motions to blend these shades together. I'm also taking Java along the outer part of my lower lash line, just blending it into that shade that we applied earlier. And finally, before we start blending this all out, I'm going to take a little bit of All Heart and I'm just going to apply this on the lid in that outer corner just to sort of create a bit more of a transition between those darker shades and those lighter shades on the lid. So clean blending brush, this is the MAC 224, and just running that along just to get rid of any harsh edges that may have appeared. To help, you can even take a little bit more of that original Warmth shade just on the very tip and just run that right along the edge to get a really blown out kind of eye look. Okay, so I'm going to keep it eyeliner light because I really want to be able to see the transition from the lighter shades in the lid to the darker shades in the crease, and I don't have a lot of space when I open my eyes because, like I said, I have hooded eyes. So I'm just going to apply a really, really thin line of the Dolly Wink black liquid liner along my lash line just to sort of fill them out a little bit. Okay, curl the lashes and apply a ton of mascara. I'm using another newish mascara to my collection. You might have seen this in my Sasa haul. This is the Heroin Make Volume and Curl Mascara. Okay, Okay, excuse the eyelashes, they've gone a little bit crazy because I didn't take off all my eyelash glue properly from last night. So note to self, make sure you remove all your eyelash glue properly, otherwise when you try and put more mascara back on the next day, your eyelashes stick together. So blush, I don't really have a new blush, but I do enjoy the way that NARS's Sin blush looks with these kind of eye tones. This is a gorgeous shade, highly recommend it. I'm just going to apply this with my Hakuhodo brush. I don't think this foundation needs a lot of powder because it is made for oily skin, and I've found that it actually sets quite nicely, but since I am filming and I'm going to be under lights, I'm going to put a little bit of powder just along my T-zone. This is my NARS pressed powder foundation. Then finally for lips, I did recently pick up one of the Hourglass lip glosses for the first time. This is in the shade Truth. These feel really nice and creamy and kind of smell like cocoa. So that is the finished look. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video and this particular style of a haul slash first impression slash demo. I thought it would be a little bit more useful than me just showing you I bought this and I bought that. If you did enjoy it, make sure you give it a thumbs up so I know. The other product that I picked up recently is the Too Faced chocolate bar palette. So if you'd like to see a first impressions kind of get ready with me tutorial look style video with this product, definitely let me know and I will film that for you guys sometime in the future. I will put a list of all the products used as well as prices where possible and where you can get them from. And other than that, make sure you come find me on any of my social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. Love Pinterest. All of those are also linked in the description box below, and I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I will see you all next time. Bye!
I think we better go. Seriously, better go. Said the better he know. Seriously, better go. Well, I think we better go.